and welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Sunshine Zee and I welcome you if it is your first time joining me today, and if it's not your first time, welcome back. I truly appreciate you as my subscribers. I would like to challenge you when you watch my videos, please like my videos. If you don't like it, then please comment and give some feedback. And if you are truly a supporter of this content, I challenge you to share the content. Thank you so much for subscribing, and let's get into today's video. So in today's episode, I'm going to talk about one of my favorite topics, which is Toastmasters International. Those of you who know me know that I'm a big fan, and I am a proud member of the Toastmasters organization. I was planning to do this video on Toastmasters, but I was planning to record it in a few weeks' time, because in September I hope to cover self-development. And what I did today is that I was actually delivering a speech, so I recorded that speech as part of that video. But then it dawned onto me that, you know what, let me stop procrastinating on the video and just record it now. So it's not technically September, but by the time you see this video, it will be September, and it will be part of my self-development theme for the month of September. So the most commonly asked question about Toastmasters is, what is Toastmasters? And I get why people would ask that, because I think the name itself doesn't quite explain what it is. I actually heard about this organization many years ago. Somebody said to me, "Oh, you speak so well, you should join Toastmasters." And in my mind, I just took the word toast and I imagined it to be something of that sort. I imagined it to be people who toast each other. I don't know what I thought, but I knew it had something to do with speaking because of what the person said before recommending that I join a club. But still, I had no idea what it was. So just simply, Toastmasters is an international organization that aims to assist people with public speaking and leadership skills. Now, when I say international, I mean this organization is recognized worldwide. If you say to anyone that I am a member of Toastmasters, you know, especially in corporate circles or even just in speaking circles, they will know what it is that you're talking about. So when you join this organization, trust that you're joining a reputable and well-recognized brand. As mentioned, I'm a proud member of this organization, and one of the things that I love about this organization is that, contrary to what people may believe about it, it's not just for people who are able to speak and articulate well. It helps you to speak and articulate well, especially in public settings or even work environments and so forth. But anyone can join this organization. You could be somebody that is terrified of speaking in front of people, and you can join Toastmasters. You can be somebody who's somewhat comfortable because maybe you've spoken a couple of times at work. Perhaps you hold a position where you need to speak regularly, and you can still join Toastmasters. Or you could be an advanced speaker. We have some of the best speakers in this organization, and even those people can join this organization in order to improve upon their skills. So that's what I love about Toastmasters. And one of my favorite things about the environment is that it's a safe space. It truly is. So if you are delivering a speech at work or anywhere else, you don't get the time to practice, you don't get the chance to get feedback on that speech, and you're nervous and people are looking at you. But at Toastmasters, people are cheering you on. You find a lot of people who will guide you, who will give you feedback, and it's always just so positive and encouraging. So I find it to be a very safe space to develop your speaking skills. Second question: How does Toastmasters work? Well, if you are interested in improving or even developing your speaking skills and you're interested in joining Toastmasters organization, how it works is that the first step is that you would need to find a club that you would like to join. I would highly recommend that you attend a meeting first so that you can get a feel of how it works, so that you can understand what it's about before you can commit to it. It doesn't even have to be a local club, because most clubs are meeting online currently. So at the moment you could decide to join a club in America, India, whichever part of the world. You can decide to join them for a club meeting, or what we call an event, and just to get a feel of what it is about. The second thing that I would say that you need to do is that once you've decided, so once you've attended the meeting and you've gotten a feel of it, and you decide that, okay, I want to join Toastmasters, you can either join that club, or you can visit as many clubs as you want, really. There's no limit to the number of clubs that you can visit, because maybe you might not like the one club, but you can go to the next club and you can join any club that you would like to join. And even after you've joined that particular club, you can still deliver your speeches and attend any other club. So it's really just, you can do whatever works for you. So you will then decide to join a club, and by the way, there are corporate clubs as well, so you can join your corporate club. Some corporates actually have multiple clubs, and as I said, whichever club you like, you can join it. Reach out to them and say, hey, I'm interested in joining, and they will explain further details. The other question that I get about Toastmasters is, how much is the course? Now, I don't even think of it as a course, but let's think of it as a course. It's very difficult for me to tell you right now what the amount is, because there's a registration fee, which is in dollars, and membership dues, which are also in dollars, and there's an amount per club that, you know, it varies from club to club. So it's very difficult for me to say to somebody, this is the X amount that you will be paying. For example, if you are a part of a corporate club, sometimes they might be paying your membership dues on your behalf. So it could be free, or even just like at a fraction of the price. So they will break it down for you. That particular club will break it down for you as to how much it is. It also depends on when it is that you join. So, you know, all of those factors make it impossible for me right now to tell you how much it is, but there is a fee associated with joining Toastmasters. Once you have joined and you're a member, all you have to do is start. So there will be people guiding you along the way, and that's what I love about it, is that there's always people who can explain to you what it is that needs to be done. And don't be afraid to ask for help, or even ask for a mentor, for example, to help you navigate the course itself and just understand what's going on, because there are a lot of like Toastmasters jargon and things like that. So it would be great if you get somebody to mentor you, just explain to you how things work. But there isn't a set, so it's a self-paced course. So there isn't a set thing that says, okay, in 6 months time, this is where you need to be, right? I'm actually going to go into a bit of it. So it's like a course, and it's got 5 levels, right? Now, each level is obviously more challenging than the previous one. You can do this over a 5-year period, 10-year period, 5 months period. Like, there's people who've gone through the course very quickly, but that takes dedication to do that. So it's self-paced. It all really depends on you. But I would really highly recommend that you not just pay the money, right? Because you can pay the money, and Toastmasters can get you registered, and you can have access to their portal. But if you don't do the work, your time will be up and you will have paid for nothing, and you can't hold them accountable, because it is your responsibility to make sure that you are developing this skill. And the only way to develop this skill is to participate, take on roles, and deliver speeches. Let me go into how the meetings are set up. There are basically 3 sections to each meeting. Each club will do things quite differently, but these are the main 3 things that will be accomplished by the end of that meeting. Firstly, you have your prepared speeches. So these speeches are speeches that you've gone and written a speech, you've practiced that speech, and now you're going to deliver that speech. Later on, I will be sharing a speech that I did. So it's called a prepared speech. The second section of the meeting will be what we call an impromptu speech section, or otherwise known as table topics. Now, what this helps with is that you need to be able to speak on the spot. Some of you have heard of a term called an elevator pitch. Now, this is something of that sort. So right on the spot, somebody will call out your name, and let me just give you some insider information, right? If you're a guest at a Toastmasters event, any Toastmasters event, you are likely to be called upon to do your first impromptu speech. They will put you on the spot. Don't tell them I told you this. But you need to be ready. But you can't be ready because you don't know what the topic is going to be. So they will ask you, can you speak? You'll say yes. Please do say yes. Because that is the first step, is being able to say yes and being put on the spot. And then they'll give you a topic. So you won't have like a minute or so to decide on the topic. Your time starts at that point. And mind you, all speeches are timed. And then the third and last section of the meeting is what we call the evaluations section. During the evaluations section, those who delivered their prepared speeches get the opportunity to have their speeches evaluated, right? So it's feedback such as, did you meet the objective, the goal of your speech? It's did you meet it in time? Did you use correct grammar? Yes, you also tested on your grammar. And it's always good to learn new words as a speaker, or even whether it be at work or wherever it is. It's always good to use proper grammar. And you'll be given feedback on filler words such as so, you know, those kinds of filler words. I'll be honest with you, whenever I'm editing my videos, I cannot believe the amount of filler words I use when I speak. And that's because it's a natural flow. It's not something scripted. I use a lot of filler words. And at Toastmasters, we try and help you to be conscious of those filler words. Amazingly, when I perform my speeches, and you'll see it in my speech, I don't use any filler words. No ums, no ahs. And that's because I practice my speeches. So I practice them in such a way that there's no room for ums and ahs and filler words and things like that. Actually, you'll see later in my speech, the only mistake I made, it wasn't a mistake as such, but what I did is that I froze. And it happens to the best of us. I actually don't recall ever freezing. I think this was my first time freezing for so long. I froze in the middle of the speech. But I managed to get back on track. And that's the thing, as I mentioned, it's a safe space. So when you freeze or when you fumble or even when you use these words, no one is disqualifying you. We will just give you that feedback. But it is not to disqualify you. The feedback is so that you can get better, right? So actually there's a saying at Toastmasters which says, feedback is the breakfast of champions. And that's what we're trying to do, is to help you become a champion, a better version of yourself. The Toastmasters tagline is, where leaders are made. And the reason that they use this tagline is actually Toastmasters organization produces a lot of leaders. As you might be aware, you cannot be a leader and not know how to speak. But at Toastmasters, you are given the opportunity to practice in leadership roles. So there are various roles within the club. You can take on roles and you can become part of the committee. You can also take on roles at a regional level, at a district level, at a division level, all the way up. You can take on leadership roles that can help you at work or anywhere else for that matter. So Toastmasters really is invested in helping you becoming a better leader. You might be wondering, what is the ultimate goal of Toastmasters? I will repeat. It is to help you with your public speaking skills and leadership skills. Now, with leadership skills, you don't have to go that route if you do not want to. If you're not interested in leadership, that's absolutely fine. There are many opportunities to do many things at Toastmasters. And one of them is that you can compete, not only at a local level, but at an international level. Please Google or YouTube search some of the best speakers, and most of them you will notice are affiliated with Toastmasters. In fact, look out for videos of previous Toastmasters champions. Now, when you are done with your course, as mentioned, all 5 levels, you can decide to take on a different course. There's different paths. We call them paths. You can decide to take on a different one. Let me tell you, it's not something that happens overnight. So after the 5 levels, it's not to say you are now a speaker. You might still feel, you know what, I want to do it again. And you can start a different path. You can also work towards becoming what we call a distinguished Toastmaster. That is the ultimate title at Toastmasters. However, that in order to get to that point, you would have had to have completed some paths and done some leadership roles and various other things before you can be awarded with that ultimate title at Toastmasters. But amazingly enough, people attain that goal and still come back to Toastmasters. It's a journey of self-development, and it's not something that you can say, oh, this is the point where I stop. You could, but trust me, once you join, you will really enjoy it and you want to become better and better. The final question that I want to address related to Toastmasters is, who is it for and who will benefit most from this course? Honestly speaking, this course is for anyone and everyone, because we could all do with some good public speaking skills. Because as you know, you don't necessarily plan to always speak. However, there will be, definitely, I guarantee that there will be opportunities for you to speak. Sometimes you won't even have a choice in the matter, and Toastmasters can help with that. And it can benefit those who are in the corporate space, especially those of you who are hoping to climb that corporate ladder. We all know you might have to give certain presentations, and Toastmasters will definitely help you with those skills, and it will help those of you who are terrified of public speaking. I've seen people improve so much. And as I mentioned earlier, it can be somebody who's terrified or who's horrible at public speaking, and I've seen them develop and become better at public speaking. So it can benefit anyone who is interested in improving, especially their public speaking skills. Thank you so much for watching this video. I will now be inserting a clip of myself delivering this speech. So please note, I wasn't looking at this particular lens. I was looking at my web camera as it was an online meeting. and try not to be too critical. I don't know if I should include the feedback that I got for this speech, but no, actually I won't do that. I'll just include the speech so you can see what a prepared speech looks like. I would have loved for it to have been better. That pause where I froze is a bit embarrassing for me. As I said, I have never actually frozen that long. However, I think it just shows that even as a seasoned speaker and as a member of Toastmasters 2+ years now, I still make mistakes. But I hope that it will inspire you to possibly look into this kind of self-development, whether it be for public speaking or leadership skills.
With Kanya, she's actually been at Toastmasters now for 2.5 years. She's actually serviced roles in Toastmasters, specifically the SAA role and the Vice President of Public Relations role in leadership roles. And now she actually mentors others using those roles. Her favorite role is Toastmaster and Evaluator. So I hope you come back and you visit us and you can take on those roles for us. And she's aspiring to be a professional speaker, and she's very, very passionate about women-specific issues, and that's why she's here today to speak to us. Okay, so Kanya, I hope you're ready for us. Her speech title is We Can All Mentor. Okay, We Can All Mentor by Kanya Langa. We Can All Mentor, Kanya Langa.
Good day, fellow Toastmasters and guests. As mentioned, my name is Kanya Langa, and I am honored to have been given this opportunity today. Allow me to share about my experience on mentoring. I am the firstborn child in my family, but I always wished that I had an older brother or sister. I wondered what it would be like to have somebody else look out for me. You see, the kids my age at the time had older siblings who would look out for them and even keep their pocket money safe for them. I didn't have that. In fact, when my brother started his schooling, I was put in charge of him. I was to look out for him. I even had to make sure that he was safe. I remember having to hold his hand as we crossed the road, so that I could ensure that we both got home safely. What a big responsibility that was. And I wished that somebody else had that responsibility. But I eventually let go of that dream and settled in my role as big sis. Years later, as I was trying to find my place in the world as a young adult, I discovered in university the concept of mentorship. It sounded amazing. I would finally have somebody to help me navigate through life. So I embarked on a mission to find as many mentors as I possibly could find. However, there was one problem with my strategy. I didn't articulate my intentions with these would-be mentors. I simply befriended people and hoped that they would perceive my need to be mentored. In retrospect, that wasn't the best way to go about it. The second flaw in my plan is that I didn't have any particular end goal in mind. I wanted a mentoring relationship for the sake of having a mentor. It probably wouldn't have worked out anyways. When I later joined the workspace, I looked for somebody to give me career guidance. But unfortunately, nothing materialized. The sad truth is, I never had a mentor. John C. Crosby says this about mentorship. Mentoring is a brain to pick, an ear to listen, and a push in the right direction. I resonate a lot with his definition of the term. When I look back at all my experiences, I can't find people with the title of mentor. However, I can recall people, events, and conversations that I consider to have been mentoring encounters. Yes, mentoring works best when you've structured it, when you have your one-on-one sessions, when you have goals set out, and when the mentor can hold the mentee accountable. I, however, did not experience that, but I still consider myself to have been mentored by many various people in many various ways. Those sessions might have not been titled mentorship sessions, but they helped me a great deal. Back to my story about growing up. I might have not had a biological older sibling, but I had friends, neighbors, and cousins who helped me in my role as big sister. The same principle applies when it comes to mentoring. I might have never had a mentor, but I find myself mentoring others at my Toastmasters club. I am in no way qualified to do this. However, I am willing to share what I know. I'm available to listen and give feedback, and I encourage my mentees to consistently take a step forward. When it comes to mentoring, we focus too much on the titles. I believe that mentoring is simply sharing of knowledge with another person that can help them along their journey. The questions are: do you have knowledge to share? Are you willing to listen? And can you help steer somebody in the direction of their goals? If you answered yes to these questions, then you can mentor. We can all mentor. Don't be intimidated by the terms and titles. We can all be influential, one way or the other. Thank you.
Thank you, Kanya. I think
for my random question this week, which is not so random given the topic for today, is how are you with social situations and having to speak in public? Because we don't always get to prepare. Sometimes you're just put on the spot. How do you do with such situations? Do you have social anxiety? Are you terrified of standing in front of a group of people and speaking? And what does it do for you? Does it hold you back? Because sometimes you might have something to share, or you would have liked to, give a tribute or something like that. But because you're not so good at it and you shake, and trust me, even very seasoned speakers, we shake, we have the nerves, we let our nerves get a hold of us. Sometimes I can hear my voice shaking while I speak. So I might look confident, but I still also suffer from all of those. But how bad is it for you? Or how natural are you on the stage? Please do share with me. Thank you once again for joining me. Please like, comment, and share this content. Until the next video, do take care. Love and light to you all.